Hatching time has ended, and we are going to pull the hatching trays out and find out how many baby quail chicks we got. So let's get to it. All right, so we got about 90 out of the bottom. 90 viable. Okay, we've got a bunch in here. It's really sad. Their legs go out to the side either way, so they can't walk. They're not going to be able to get around. This isn't a good, healthy life for them. And as far as I know, there's really nothing to do, but we've lost every single one of these from the last batch that were like this. So we're going to end their misery and not make them suffer slow and painful death. We've got a whole bunch up in here, and it looks like these up here did better. All right, so we ended up with 160 viable who hatched. Very sadly, we would have had almost 175. Do you want to take all of these? Unfortunately,
got a lot of saddle eggs.
There may be a saddle egg in there, but that's 160.
So the quail, getting close to about a week old now. This batch, unfortunately, has not been quite as hardy as the last one. With these guys, we only lost about 10 because we still have 156 of what we're calling now the juveniles. 4 weeks old now, so they're halfway to maturity date. But then our latest new hatchlings of quail, we've been losing a ton. Found some drowned themselves, and then others just didn't get underneath the heat plate and died from the cold. But I think we've lost probably about 50 so far. So it's not great. We couldn't figure out what it was, and so last night we kept this light on all night and woke up to not finding any dead ones. So yeah, we're thinking they just need light the whole time, otherwise they're not going to be able to find their way back to the heat plate. So if they come out to eat or drink during the middle of the night. Hopefully we've gotten that problem figured out, and with it now getting colder, like it probably didn't matter for these guys too much just because it was still very hot when these guys were little. But with these guys, the nights are getting colder and they probably just can't figure out how to get out of the cold. We have moved the baby Big Red Broilers into the tractors. We have them on our front lawn just because I would like to have the lawn get fertilized. This part of the lawn isn't too bad. The stuff on the other side of the house, that needs some fertilizer. So the babies out here, they're doing good. I don't know if we ever mentioned this, but Brandon's brother found a Bumgars where he lives. They were having a sale on the Cornish cross that they had because they were 10 days old, and so they were like $1 a piece. So Brandon decided to purchase what they had at $1 a piece. Otherwise we weren't planning on doing these guys again. But it is later in the season. It's not hot anymore, so it shouldn't be too bad. We moved the Big Red Broilers that had been in the tractors that were in the pasture down there. We moved them up here over the weekend, and then on Monday we butchered them. Or at least we butchered the roosters and a couple of hens before we realized that there are a lot of the hens that just aren't at a good weight. And so we were going to hang on to them and butcher them when we butcher our roosters from the Bielefelders, who will be fully matured, and we will then need to cull some roosters. So we're going to be hanging on to these guys for a little bit longer, but they're not a lot of trouble, and they'll stay in this pen pretty much the whole time. So this is seeing chickens again. The ducklings were over here before, so it's just getting another round. That is the new stuff going on with our Big Red Broilers. A lot of stuff has happened since we last did a vlog, but we've been busy. So I will do my best to catch you up on everything that has happened, and yeah, just keep you guys up to date on what's going on. Right now, I need to feed the Big Red Broiler hens because Thane can't find his socks, so he does not want to do it. So I will feed them, and then I'll go feed the Bielefelders. So if anyone's the male in this group, it's him. But we're not positive because, you know, he doesn't have the colorings yet. They have, males are supposed to have green necks. And he does not. So, we don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. Kitties are doing well. We still have the two that I think are about 4 weeks old. We got Night with her newborn. She's still nursing these guys, so I do separate the older kittens from Night and her baby. Last night I separated them so the kittens weren't with Night overnight, just to give the newborn kitten a chance to get as much milk as she can, because I'm concerned that these guys are drinking too much or just shoving the newborn out of the way, so it can't get as much milk as it should. But they are all still doing good, and Night did end up only having just one kitten. But we also acquired this little kitty. Come here, kitty, kitty. Yes. Alright, so this kitty we got from Brandon's sister. They had gotten her when she was about 8 weeks old. She was just, they were worried that they weren't giving her her best life, and so they asked if we could take her, and we did. So she's been hanging out in here, the garage, with the kittens and with Night. It's been a bit of a struggle for her. She hasn't been around other cats since she was a baby. As of right now, she's pretty good with the kittens. She likes to play with them and pester them. Her and Night have gotten into a little bit of a spat a few times. She seems pretty obsessed over where Night is and what Night is doing, and will hiss and growl at her. Night, being the go with the flow type of kitten or cat, doesn't really care. And we actually forgot to ask what her name was, and so we've basically just been calling her Honey. When Honey gets too overstepping with her hissing and tries to throw a punch at Night, Night will fight back. And so Night has put her in a corner a couple of times, but claws have not been used. I would say they're getting along just fine. We'll keep her in the garage for another couple of weeks, just so that she establishes that this is now her home and where she gets her food, before we let her be outside. This is Night's baby. The only one she had. It's gray with white. And Night is a very good mama, which I knew she would be. They're old enough that they shouldn't be on her a lot. If you guys want to take a drunken nap, you can do that in the kennel. Nope. And Night loves having these kittens be with her. In the truest sense of the word, Night has adopted them as her own.